Welcome to Joe's Astrology Love is Blind edition. And this is the birth chart for Bree. And I think this is the right chart. July 24th, 1991. There's no birth time, so this isn't correct. I wish we did have a birth time, but we don't. So she's a Sun in Leo. Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury all in Leo. And that makes perfect sense because she was definitely bright, sunny, outgoing, center stage, and that's what Connor kept saying that he liked about her. And she even said, I believe she was even saying that he didn't really get her positive side. So if you're into astrology and you're watching the show, that's Leo. I mean, that's Leo. I don't know what she's looking at, but that's what it is. She had all that Leo going on. And I didn't really see that much negativity, so I don't really know what she's referring to. Well, she's probably referring to this, the Mars and Venus in Virgo. Which I think maybe what she meant to say is it could get a lot worse. It could get a lot worse. Because this is the reason, okay? And moon is in, moon might be in Capricorn. All right, might be let's just say it's in Capricorn. It might be in Sagittarius, but let's just say, okay, fine. It's in Capricorn. It's with Uranus. Okay? These four planets alone just goes to show you that I could place a bet. I could place a bet before this show even started. She's not getting with she's not marrying anybody, okay? She's not marrying Connor for sure. She's not marrying anybody. And it's because of all this Venus and Mars and Virgo. You can see this right here. This is the thing you see a lot with Leo. A lot of Leos have Virgos in their chart. And in her case, just watching her and seeing this, there's no way. There's no way you're making a decision like that in a hurry. With this kind of, with planets in Virgo like this. You can even see there's the Mars Mercury. She's kind of like honest with her words. She speaks first without thinking, and you see that there with this Mars Mercury, which I tend to, I don't have a problem with that. I kind of like that. But then you also have this moon Uranus as well, and it's like that in a positive light. That could be somebody who's thinks different, is willing to look at the objective side to life and maybe think outside the box, go on a show like this. But you put it together with this Mars and Venus in Virgo. I mean, there's no way she's making a decision like that. There's no way she's making a decision on a guy like Connor, who's basic, especially with all this Leo. It's the Leo and the Virgo combined. I've known many. This is like, this combination here is I've met and dated more women with this Leo Virgo combination than anyone else. And I've had people in my family with it. And there's this underlying pickiness with these people that they know what they want, they have what they want, and that's it. They're either going to get it or they're not going to get anything. So she also has this Saturn here in Aquarius, which is nice. So definitely, without looking at the houses, like I said, the moon with Uranus, Neptune is there, maybe Saturn in Aquarius, and the Leo stuff that she's welcoming and can be friendly and accepting of all types of people, which in this show would lead you to think that she's going to actually marry somebody. But as I was saying with the rest of the chart, there's no way. It kind of puts on that show that she's actually gonna do something, make a decision and actually get deeply involved with somebody. That's different than just being friendly with somebody. Let's see what else we can dig up here. So I'm doing this on the fly here. We got Pluto. Interesting here. Pluto is transiting that Saturn. As the show is going on. Pluto is here now at 4 degrees. And, you know, as far as like actually getting what she wanted, which is to be married. Obviously, that's why she's going on the show, to find love. She had her chance. She had her chance, and she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. It'd be interesting to see what her real thoughts about that other guy is. Even though watching the show, it sounded like she was writing him off, like he's has no shot. It'd be interesting to see what happened after that. But see if there's any aspects to this Saturn here. There's an opposition to that sun, and there's an inconjunct to the Mars in Virgo. So that's adding more of that Virgo. So we see here the Pluto's here, Saturn and Mars, and Saturn and Venus. There's an inconjunct. So what does that mean? Well, you see with Pluto transiting the Saturn that this was well, I wouldn't know if I'd call it an opportunity, but an event in the life. An event in the life that has something to do with this Saturn and this Mars and this Venus, and maybe even throw in this Mercury in Leo. And if we did some therapy with this woman, we probably would find out the real truth. And the real truth is she can't make a decision on a guy like Connor. Never going to happen. And it's right here in the chart. Right here in the chart with this inconjunct. And I don't know I wonder how many, it makes me think of how many people that actually have alignments like this that do make a decision on a guy like Connor and say, you know what, I was willing to go all the way with this person, enough to live with them, etc. Say I was going to marry them, get very deeply involved with them, and is that good enough? I mean, is that good enough to be in a long-term relationship at the very least? Forget about the rest of your life. It's like at least to be in a long-term relationship, because the way I see it, the way I live my life anyway, for the most part, at least up to this point, I usually don't get deeply involved with somebody unless I really like them. And, but not everyone's like that. So it's just this inconjunct, this transit, it's very interesting that you would go that far. And I wonder how many people, other people who would go that far, they just kind of go with it and not be so, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be what I thought it was going to be, etc., etc. So, what else? We can look at some of the other transits. Uranus is here, and Saturn is here, Neptune is here. She does have this Saturn-Neptune trine while this is all going on. So we could say, you can see the trine being versus the inconjunct, the show being good for her Leo, good for her getting attention, being on TV, throw Neptune in there and kind of putting on a performance, because it's, even though it's reality TV, it's still, in my opinion, anything that's on TV is a show. It's anything that's on TV is some type of performance. I mean, even this, to a degree, this is live. I'm not recording this and editing it. This is a live presentation. So there's that. Let's see if there's any. Pluto's at 17 degrees Scorpio. And she's got a lot of retrograde in the chart. Saturn's retrograde. So we know when Saturn's retrograde, at least we'll talk about Saturn at least. When Saturn's retrograde, it usually indicates some redoing or renewing, something that has to do with Saturn, Aquarius. Also, we could say that it's pointing towards Uranus. And if indeed it is pointing towards Uranus, you have a person who is going to be very guarded around her independence and maintaining her independence. And someone who is like that is going to have a hard time committing and settling down for the long, at least something like, okay, we're going to get married and this is permanent. Putting that in their head. Someone's going to have a hard time with that, because if they're Uranian, they don't want to lose their independence. So a lot of times that has to be talked about, understood, and the person can't be very clingy. And the thing is, someone like Connor didn't really seem like he was very clingy. So it's like you're getting exactly what you want, even if she's not aware of it. And Pluto is making a square to the Jupiter. You can see here it's making a square to the Jupiter. It's making a sextile to the node, to the north node. Square to the Jupiter. I mean, you put Pluto, anytime you put Pluto and Jupiter together, this can be kind of a powerhouse combination, and especially with the square, it can be kind of an erratic powerhouse, and we see that with her personality. It's again more indication that there's just no way she's gonna be able to make a decision like that, because it would drive her nuts. We saw that in the show. She's kind of like slowly, it's just kind of weird how it was slowly working towards that. And then towards the end, it was just like, okay, we're not getting married. It's done. Like out of nowhere. I will say this. She does have that, speaking of Uranus, she does have that Uranus and Mars and Venus trine, which would be good for, these unorthodox situations, unorthodox relationships. But nonetheless, she couldn't get it done. It's all good. It's just a show. But if you have anything else, add down in the comments. Thanks for watching, or thanks for listening, and have a great day.